So yesterday, some documents came out that absolutely make James Comey and the FBI look disastrously corrupt. I mean, horrifically corrupt. Like crusading FBI agents, crusading in order to railroad people in the Trump administration early on because they were so convinced. They'd convinced themselves that Trump was actually a Russian's cat's paw, and they were going to do anything they needed in order to flip people. They were going to do anything they needed in order to prosecute people surrounding Trump so that they could come up with the evidence that surely must be around the next corner. So according to Jerry Dunleavy, writing at the Washington Examiner, top FBI officials discussed the possibility of prosecuting retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn for lying to the FBI about his contacts with the Russians as agents planned how to conduct their interview of the Trump National Security Advisor, newly unsealed notes show. The records, unsealed through a consent agreement by Flynn's lawyers and the Justice Department, show an email from then FBI Special Agent Peter Strzok to then FBI General Counsel James Baker with advice for then FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe for his call with Flynn on January 24, 2017. That is the same day that Flynn was interviewed by Strzok and another FBI agent believed to be Joseph Pientka. The documents also include an email from the day before that, then FBI lawyer Lisa Page sent to Strzok and a member of the FBI's Office of General Counsel, whose name is redacted, about the federal statute against false statements. Additionally, a page of handwritten notes from an FBI official, whose identity has not been disclosed to the public, was released, dated the day of Flynn's FBI interview. Now remember, a lot of these people have had serious honesty problems. Andrew McCabe was fired for having lied to the FBI about contacts with outside media outlets. He lost his pension. Peter Strzok was involved in this affair with Lisa Page, and they were writing each other emails about how exactly to question Michael Flynn. He is the person, Peter Strzok, who's telling Lisa Page back during the election that they had insurance against Trump winning. The author of the notes was previously speculated to be Baker, but on Wednesday it was reported the notes belonged to the FBI's head of counterintelligence, Bill Priestap, who led the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. The notes show the FBI official wondering whether the goal of the Flynn interview was to get Flynn to tell the truth or to catch him in a lie so he could be charged with a crime or removed from his position. What? What now? So they're literally saying in the actual notes, it says, what is our goal? Truth admission or to get him to lie so we can prosecute him or get him fired? What now? So you're literally setting up a perjury trap. This is the definition of a perjury trap, right? You are literally attempting to get him to lie. You want him to lie so you can prosecute him. And this is exactly what happened, because here's the thing. Michael Flynn, for all of his foibles, for all of his ridiculousness with RT and Turkey and all the rest of it, Michael Flynn did not commit a crime when, as incoming national security advisor, he talked with the Russians. That is not a crime. It did not violate the Logan Act. It is not a crime in any way, shape, or form. The only crime Michael Flynn allegedly committed is that he lied to the FBI. But now it appears that the FBI was specifically designing its questions to get him to lie. That was their intent. They wanted him to lie. Why? So they could flip him, they could threaten him with perjury charges, and then they could get him to flip on Trump. Right? That's what this appears to be. Flynn right now is fighting to dismiss the government's case against him. He pled guilty in December 2017 to lying to investigators about conversations with Russian diplomat Sergei Kislyak about sanctions on Russia and a UN resolution on Israel. The FBI had intercepted Flynn's discussions with the Russian and then grilled him on the contents of the conversation. Now, again, the FBI should have to explain really why exactly they were intercepting those conversations. Now, they can say we were monitoring the Russians, but again, there's nothing wrong with Michael Flynn talking with the Russians when he's the incoming NSA. In January, he told the court he was innocent of this crime. He filed to withdraw his guilty plea after the DOJ asked the judge to sentence Flynn to up to 6 months in prison, though afterward the department said probation would be appropriate. Flynn tweeted out a short video showing an American flag flapping in the wind after all of this came out. The FBI official wrote, "We have a case with Flynn and Russians, and our goal is to determine if Mike Flynn is going to tell the truth about his relationship with the Russians." Beneath another column labeled afterwards, the FBI official lists a number of thoughts about the impending Flynn interview that day. "I agreed yesterday," he wrote, "that we shouldn't show Flynn redacted if he didn't admit it. But I thought about it last night. I believe we should rethink this. What is our goal? Truth admission? Or get him to lie so we can prosecute him? Or get him fired?" The FBI official stated, "We regularly show subjects evidence with the goal of getting them to admit their wrongdoing. I don't see how getting someone to admit their wrongdoing is going easy on him." The FBI official also suggested if we get him to admit to breaking the Logan Act, which he did not break, give facts to DOJ and have them decide. Or if initially lies, we present him blank and he admits it, documents for DOJ, and let them decide how to address it. The FBI said, "If we're seen as playing games, White House will be furious." The list ended with a bullet point that said, "Protect our institution by not playing games." Isn't it the definition of playing a game when the person did not commit an underlying crime or make it or tell a lie that is or told a lie that is irrelevant to an actual underlying crime? and then you try to prosecute him so you can get him to flip on Trump and people surrounding Trump. Pretty astonishing stuff. Really, pretty amazing. The newly public email from Page to the FBI General Counsel's office in Destruct had the subject line, question regarding 1001. That's a reference to 18 U.S. Code 1001, the U.S. federal statute against making false statements, to which federal law enforcement officers later used to get Flynn to plead guilty. Lisa Page asked, I have a question. Could the admonition regarding 1001 be given at the beginning of the interview, or does it have to come following a statement which agents believe to be false? I feel bad I don't know this. I don't remember ever having to do this. Plus, I've only charged it once in the context of lying to a federal probation officer. Page noted it could be given at the beginning of their discussion with Flynn. It would be an easy way to casually slip that in, as, of course, you know, sir, federal law makes it a crime, too. It is pretty incredible. Andrew McCarthy, the conservative commentator, former federal prosecutor from National Review, wrote earlier this week there was no good faith basis for an investigation into General Flynn because under federal law, a false statement made to investigators is not actionable unless it is material. Judge Emmett Sullivan, the federal judge presiding over retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn's case, issued an order on Tuesday telling the former National Security Advisor's previous attorneys to re-execute a search of every document and communication pertaining to the firm's representation of Mr. Flynn after it was revealed they failed to turn over thousands of documents to Flynn's new defense team. They just lost a bunch of documents to the federal government and didn't turn it over to Flynn's defense team. All of this looks deeply, deeply suspicious. Flynn's defense lawyers also said on Friday they found further evidence of misconduct by a former Robert Mueller prosecutor, Brandon Van Grack, claiming he made baseless threats to indict Flynn. Apparently, what actually happened here is that at a certain point, the Flynn was not prosecuted, remember, for a little while after this. And Flynn was brought to heel by Robert Mueller's team. Apparently, Robert Mueller's team went to him and said, if you do not plead guilty to this, or if you do not testify or give us information, we're going to prosecute your kid. I mean, ugly, ugly stuff. Ugly, ugly stuff. But, you know, the fact that the FBI was engaged in this sort of thing, not good news for James Comey, a man of rectitude above all questions about the law. Lindsey Graham says, the senator from South Carolina, Flynn was obviously the victim of an out-of-control DOJ here.
It's pretty apparent to me that General Flynn was a victim of an out-of-control Department of Justice. He basically got railroaded. It is pretty widely known that the Obama administration didn't have much use for General Flynn. So Attorney General Barr needs to be complimented. He's doing the right thing. He has 3 goals that I share: restore trust, hold people accountable who have engaged in misconduct, and right wrongs like General Flynn and I believe eventually Papadopoulos.
So what is going to happen here is that Attorney General William Barr is looking into this. There's a possibility that the government drops its case against Flynn entirely. We'll see where this goes. But look, Flynn lied about the communications, but the underlying communications were not illegal. This is a point Andrew McCarthy has made. It continues to be true. What's hilarious is that the same people who have ripped into the FBI over and over and over and over for being beyond their capacity are now defending the FBI, engaging in this sort of game playing as soon as it is directed against somebody who supposedly was going to turn on President Trump. So that is where we currently stand. It is a good reminder, by the way. It is a good reminder that when you give the government the power of compulsion, people are very likely to misuse it or be corrupt in the ways that they use that sort of power. So it's a libertarian moment for everybody regarding the FBI. Facts don't care about your feelings, and it's a fact that The Ben Shapiro Show is the largest conservative podcast in the nation. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on all of our content.